Secret is not about hiding. Secret is about right time and right place. Hi, I'm Farah of Tibetan Healing Movement. So, I teach from the Tantrayana Buddhist tradition, which I received from my teacher Tulku Lobsang. And it often comes up this question about what it means when teachings are secret. Because much of the Tantric Buddhism, many of those practices were considered secret. Um, this means that they weren't easy to receive. They were passed down master to student, master to student. So the student was checked. There were certain qualities and attributes that the student would have to have before the master would want to pass things on to that student, as well as the student would be required to do many, many preliminary practices, preparations, perhaps receiving empowerments, and this could be years in the making. And that's how things worked in traditional Tibetan society for many, many, many years. It served them very, very well. Well, fast forward to today, and many of those teachings have been dispersed out into the world as Tibetans themselves are dispersed into the world, having really lost full control over their homeland and having to flee and be in exile for their safety and for their freedom of religion and politics. Anyway, this isn't meant to be a political video, but we know that the Tibetans have been forced out of their country, and as a result, there are many, many Tibetans living in the West. One of these being my teacher, Tulku Lobsang. And Tulku Lobsang is teaching myself and many, many other students around the world these traditional Tantrayana practices. And he's teaching them in a very open way, right? You can just sign up and go to a retreat on Tumo. I myself am teaching many of these practices, Tsalung. And so again, the question arises about secret, and weren't these things secret, and how is it okay to just be teaching them openly? So I'd like to share what I understand about secret, and it's about returning to the main purpose, right? It's all about benefit. So what is the benefit in keeping things secret? It's about ensuring responsibility, right? That the one who is sharing the information is taking responsibility and recognizing that not all people at all times in all situations are going to benefit from receiving this information. So, for example, if someone is teaching some Buddhist principles, or let's say Tantrayana Buddhism, and maybe they hold up a tanka, and some of those tankas, the artwork can look very uncomfortable. They can look scary. There's skulls and blood sometimes, and of course there's a lot of deep symbolism behind that. And we know that the Tibetan Buddhists and Buddhists in general are very peace loving. They're not violent people. That's not perpetuated in Buddhism. And yet here you have a tanka. Now, if you were to show that tanka with no context, and maybe you show it to someone who has a lot of fear of ghosts or violence or something, if not presented well, or if presented at the wrong time or to the wrong person, that person might be completely turned off from Tibetan Buddhism forever, and they're just closed to it because of this experience. That's a big burden to bear for the one who shared that with them. You have now hurt Buddhism in their eyes because you didn't take care in recognizing their psychology and explaining things properly, or maybe that just wasn't the approach for them. So the point here is that even if the information itself is valuable and is true and can be of great benefit, there still is another layer of inquiry and of responsibility that the teacher needs to take into account. And that is this the right time to be sharing this? Is this the right person to be sharing this with? Because Buddhism has many, many methods, many dimensions, many layers, and there's something for everyone. It's not a blanket one size fits all. So again, the idea of secret is about taking responsibility and recognizing that one needs to share with the right person at the right time. Because traditionally, even teachings on compassion were considered secret. And that's because compassion is, there's so much more to it than we understand. It's actually can be easily misunderstood. There's layers to compassion. There's conventional compassion, substance compassion, absolute compassion. There's understandings of emptiness that are involved in truly grasping compassion. I don't claim to know this. I'm just giving it as an example that something that might seem so benign, it's compassion. Well, it's loving and kindness. And yet, even something that seemingly is so benign can also be in the category of needing to be secret because one needs to set the foundation. You want to do as best you can to ensure that there are no misunderstandings, that the thing that you're teaching isn't going in the wrong direction, right? So secret is about responsibility. And again, to come back to always coming back to the question of benefit, benefit, benefit. That's really the underlying motivation for everything. So yes, tradition has a place. Yes, traditions are important, but they were put into place because they were the structure that ensured benefit, right? But over time and in different cultures, in different countries, in different decades, we can't unthinkingly continue to apply tradition. One still needs to come back to the original question: how can I share something so that it is of maximum benefit? So I hope that that sheds a little light on my understanding of why certain teachings are secret and why it could be okay to openly share things that were traditionally secret, as long as they're always being done with the benefit of the receiver as the core principle to live by. So thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope you found some benefit. If you'd like to learn more about these Tantrayana practices and different movement practices that I've learned from my teacher Tulku Lobsang, you can check that out at my website, TibetanHealingMovement.com. And if you'd like to receive more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm sharing something new every week, and I would love to hear from you what you'd like to learn more about, what you're interested in, and how I can be of most service. All right, take care. See you next time.